Welcome to Mad Props. I am your host, Chris Schnabel, and today we have Anthony Hines III, football linebacker, currently playing in the UFL, also played in the NFL, has a Super Bowl ring with the Los Angeles Rams, coming on today to talk about his music career. Bill is Dead is his rap moniker, his rap name. So he's going to be talking about that. We're going to get into more about music. We're going to get into how he started. We're going to get into all that fun stuff. You are going to notice that the whole setting is going to change. That is because I did not record the beginning and the end of this episode in the same location. I decided to just record the podcast in that location, and then I came back and did this one from my home office. Now, you might notice if you're watching, if you're listening, you probably don't notice anything because it probably sounds fine. I hope it sounds fine. We'll find out soon enough, but it probably sounds fine. But if you're watching, you'll notice that I'm holding my microphone and the setup is a little empty and different. We are setting up the new studio as we speak. That's why we're currently at Maker's Gym doing everything, which is a great facility in Frisco. We really appreciate them hosting us. But we're setting up the home studio so we could do more stuff with the virtual and more of Hannah and I and things like that. So while we're doing that, we're at Maker's Gym with guests because I don't want to bring them here until this is completely set up. But I just don't have my setup completely done yet. So this is what it looks like for now. And I'm holding my microphone because my microphone is now, not hooked up to anything. And it actually is going to be set up way behind me. You can see the stuff behind me. If you're watching, that's where it's going to be. So once that all gets set up, it'll look different. But I don't want to waste too much time. I'm going to throw it over to Hannah, throw it over to some ads. Hannah is not here, but you will hear her still on the ads. So I'm going to throw it over to Hannah, throw it over to the ads, and then we're going to get right into this interview. Let's do it. Hannah, tell us about audible.com.
You know it pairs perfectly with long commutes, boring chores, or pretending you're being productive at the gym? A good story. That's where Audible comes in. Whether you're into true crime, epic fantasy, self-help, or celebrity memoirs read by the celebrities themselves. Yes, even that one. Audible has it all. And here's the kicker. You can try it for free for 30 days. Just head to audibletrial.com/madpropspod to start your free trial. That's right, audibletrial.com/madpropspod. Because books are cool, but listening to them while pretending to be busy, even cooler. Again, that's audibletrial.com/madpropspod.
Let's be honest, folks. If your pets can talk, they definitely tell you your cleaning game needs some work. That's where Neakasa can come in. Whether it's your pet hair taking over your couch or that mysterious mess they decide to leave you right after you clean. Neakasa's grooming vacuums and smart home cleaning tools are built to handle the chaos, so you don't have to yourself. Seriously, it's like giving your home a personal assistant that doesn't eat all your snacks, although they do deserve the snacks. They deserve the snacks. Cheese tax is real. Check out Neakasa.com to upgrade your cleaning game and maybe even impress your pets for once. Too many tongue twisters in there. Your floors, your furniture, and your fur babies will thank you. That's Neakasa.com. Head there and use code MadPropsPod for a special discount from MadProps to you and your pets. That again is Neakasa.com and use code MadPropsPod. This podcast is also brought to you by Schnabel Studios, the mothership, I like to call it. You can go to schnabelstudios.com and see a bunch of different things. This podcast, you can see old sketching ups. There has not been a new sketching up in a while, but you can catch old sketching ups. You can catch Off Stage as well, which is a music documentary that I did years and years ago. Actually, it's kind of been resurfacing a little bit with some festivals doing some X-year anniversaries and stuff like that. So some things have been resurfacing a little bit. You can see the DJ Groulet documentary as well there and a bunch of other stuff. So definitely check that out. That's schnabelstudios.com. You can find us on social media at MadPropsPod on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find Schnabel Studios at any social media place. You can also find me personally at Chris Schnabel, Schnabel on Instagram, Chris M. Schnabel on Twitter. So Schnabel with the M in the middle, or at Chris.Schnabel on TikTok. So basically just my name. Just search my name. It'll probably come up and you'll find me there. Without further ado, roll the credits, roll the music, roll the credits. This is Mad Props. All right, welcome to the show. We're glad that you're here. So you are a linebacker turned rap artist, or rap artist turned linebacker? Where did it start?
Man, really, I want to say they both kind of coincided the whole time. I've always been into football, but I've also always been into writing specifically. Like
Mhm.
that's how I started, was writing.
So football from a young age, go professional. When did you put out like your first song? Was that early age too, or was that a little later?
It's crazy. It was a little later. My first song, actually, I want to say it came out in 2020. I put out my first song under the moniker Bill is Dead. That's my artist name.
Yep.
And it was really that COVID time kind of when I started actually recording, but I had been writing as early as elementary school. Like when I was bored in class, I'd be writing raps, and I actually got caught quite a few times. My teacher would be like, "What are you doing? Like, there's no reason for you to be writing right now." And there had been times I had to like read out what I was
What
writing,
you were writing?
but I just didn't.
So that's like your first performance.
Yeah,
Your
more
first performance going in front of your classmates when you were
Yes.
young, reading out what you were writing.
Pretty embarrassing, but yes.
But now it's not. Now you do it. Now you're doing it as a career, basically, or a secondary career. Would you
No, for
consider
sure.
this the next step, or do you consider it all coinciding at once?
It's really coinciding. That's the crazy thing about being an athlete. They tell you plan B, this, that, but the reality of it is you have to do all this stuff you got to strike while the iron's hot, right? So once I'm not an athlete anymore and I retire, it'd be convenient for me to just be able to go and switch. Oh, I make music now, but
Yeah.
you lose the eyes, you lose the attention, you lose
Yeah.
the fans. You kind of got to capitalize on that while you're gone. So I plan on doing it both at once.
I do tell everyone that, like, that's an athlete that I work with. I'm like, if you are trying to build something outside of football, you need to do it right now, because there's a big difference between athlete and former athlete
No, for sure.
on that profile page. Like, once it hits former athlete, hell, you can look at those guys that were great, the Aaron Fosters of the world, like trying to build them up now, like trying to build themselves now. Obviously, they weren't in like a big social media time, right?
Yep.
So they didn't try to build the social media. So trying to build it now as a former athlete, and even those guys that are like, they were Pro Bowlers, all pro players, are trying to
Struggling.
build themselves, and they're struggling to build their social media because they're a former player.
Yep.
And the young kids that would be following you, or the people that are trying to follow you, don't see it. They don't
Yep.
see how good those people were. So you
For
really
sure.
do have to build it now. So that's a good mindset to have as you're building, as you're going right here. So do you do everything under, I know you have 2 social medias for it.
Yes.
Do you mostly do stuff under your own social media, or are you doing stuff under the other social media as well?
Originally, I started off with the Bill is Dead page, on
Mhm.
IG. I started kind of siphoning. It's a weird balance, there's specifically rap music and football. I have fans, that are kids and look up to me, and the reality of it is, as an artist, as a grown man, I mean, you're not gonna 100% always be like the clean cut person, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone likes to have fun. Everyone is has multiple sides to themselves. We're not
Everyone's
just
human.
we're not wearing suit and ties when
Yeah.
walking around, speaking proper all the time. So specifically because of that, I started off siphoning all my music specifically off that page. But as I've gotten a little older, become a little bit more experienced on the field and with the music, I said, you know what, it's me. Let me kind of transition into, posting a lot of that stuff on my actual page.
Yeah, because that's where I saw it, was your actual page, but
Yes.
you collaborate with the Bill is Dead page. So that's how I kind of went, and I followed that one as well. I'm like,
Yep.
all right, I'll follow both, because I don't know which one
For
you're
sure.
going with
Yep,
for
yep,
now,
yep.
but it seems like you're going more in that direction. So where's Bill is Dead come from? Where's that?
Bill is
name?
Dead is kind of like a play on words. Bills, dollar bills, dead presidents. So Bill is dead. But also, I'm a big fan of Kill Bill. And
Yep.
my favorite color was yellow. A bunch of random stuff kind of brought together into one. But that's kind of and I just think it sounds like a killer band name too.
It does.
Like
It's
it
an
sounds
awesome
like a
band name.
band. So
Yeah.
it was just one of those things. And I've kind of seen myself musically kind of performing, and with a band behind me, kind of low key. So
So you want real instruments going out there. That is the
yes.
best when you go watch like a rapper you really like live, and like Jay-Z does this a lot, and Lil Wayne is huge on this.
Yes.
Obviously, he plays a lot of music as well. When you go watch him live, and his music has that band behind it, and it's just a
Yep.
different feel to it, and it also has a different feel to the song, because it's not just a track behind that you've already heard. It's like a different
It's a whole
experience.
different,
Yeah,
yep,
so I
for
love
sure.
that. Do you play any instruments?
I don't, but I'm a big. You brought that up. I'm a big fan of Kendrick Lamar, and
Mhm.
a lot of the times with his performances, he'll have the jazz band behind
Yep,
him, and
yep,
it just
yep.
creates a whole different
Gospel
vibe.
singers,
Yeah,
all
so
that stuff.
that's kind of what I want to get into. It's funny, like as I've kind of continue to make music over the years, I'm kind of transitioning into like a producer mindset a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and just a creative director mindset, to where, you know, I look at the full picture, whereas at first I just looked at the lyrics and the beat, but now I'm kind of looking at, okay, how do I want this song to make the listener feel,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
transitioning there.
So do you make your own beats? Where do your beats come from?
I've made 2 beats before. So I'm still pretty early in the
Pretty new in
process.
that one.
Yeah, but you know, I I've always wanted to. I think the first thing that catches my attention, and I've always been this way, is whenever I first turn on a song, I hear the beat, and I hear
Yeah.
the details, and I would ask my friends like, "Oh, this part of the beat like is really cool," and they're like, "What are you talking about?" So that's when I knew. I was like, "Okay, maybe I have a ear for it potentially, or maybe I just pay close enough attention that maybe the regular person doesn't."
Yeah.
So it's been funny and interesting. You know, I might hear a random sound and I'll YouTube it, and then I'll go download it and try to cut it, and try to make a sample
Make a
out of
new
it.
sample
So
out of it and
yeah,
stuff. And my friend Kyle from Atlanta does a lot of the type of stuff. And like
okay,
when I did a documentary series, it was called Offstage years ago. Go watch it if you haven't already. But Offstage is this, when I first got out of college, I didn't have a video job, so I just started doing something myself. It started with, it was supposed to be like a behind the music with bigger bands. And we had a very big band at the time lined up. Didn't work out. So this is 2015.
okay.
So you can let your mind wonder what band that could be, right? It was Imagine Dragons. But
Man, that's
yes,
crazy.
but they said
That's wild.
yes, and then they declined afterwards. So we were like already had equipment ready to go, and I didn't have a person for it. So I'm in my parents' basement doing, I think, cleaning or something. And do you remember Music Choice?
Yes,
It
I
used to
do.
go on Music
Yeah.
Choice. It would like
Yeah.
shuffle through. This dude, Damon St. Cloud, came on, which you probably haven't heard of him, but Damon St. Cloud, he's a New Jersey rapper. He had a song called Charlie Bartlett. And I was like, dude, this song is good. Like, who is this guy? I started looking him up. He's got like no follow. I'm like, how did he get on Music Choice? Like, this is solid.
That's wild.
But so I found him and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to do this documentary series. Like, let's try to link up. So that's what the first episode, it was supposed to be a one-off, just a one episode thing. But that's how I found him, and that's what we went with. And then after that, my friend Brandon Gill and I, who he was a really close friend of mine. He worked a little bit on that first one, but then he kind of became a co-producer with me on these episodes. He came on and we were like, let's just put out like a quick Facebook message like to a group or something. We did like the New Hampshire or New England music group. Like, we're doing a documentary series. We're looking for somebody. We just did one. Here's like a link to the preview. Let's see. And we had like 2,500 people reach out to us. We ended up going with this girl, Casey Grennan. She was from New Hampshire. She was 13 or 14 years old. She was opening up for big names already and doing all this crazy stuff. We had a great episode of that. Then I think we ended up doing 10. There was supposed to be 11. There was one that was filmed and never released, never will be released because we don't have a finish to it. It was with this band, Sons Lunaris. I don't mind saying it because they're awesome people, but it just didn't work out. They recorded an entire album in 24 hours.
Wow.
So we filmed the entire thing. We had it all ready to go. And then they decided they wanted to change some stuff to back into a studio session. Didn't tell us. We didn't get any of that. So the songs sound different from, you know what I mean, from when we did it.
Demos,
that was just the demos of
Okay.
it. And so we didn't have an ending to it because they went back and recorded it. and that
That's
was always
still
my thing with the
cool.
Offstage. Yeah, it was a really cool idea if it would have worked.
Yeah.
That was my thing always with the Offstage. I'm like, they always feel unfinished. Like there's just not a finish to it because we didn't have a lot of time with these people. Like they would just be in town or we would just be at a show. The one time we traveled, we did one in Boston. What was it? Boston, Connecticut. Then we traveled down. We did 2 in Nashville, 1 in Atlanta.
Man.
But we're only there for a couple days. So like we can only get what we get. And that's it. So they always felt unfinished. But I don't even remember where we got into this part, how we got into this part.
But either way, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
though.
I've always wanted to do another one. I've always wanted to try to do another one. It's just time is just hard to come by.
No, for sure.
I was young and I was energized and ready to go. I used to we got like 1 hour sleep back in those days. I was working 5 jobs, doing my own independent stuff.
Yep, it's
Not
a
anymore.
little tough. It's a little
Not
tougher
anymore.
now.
I got bags under my eyes and It's 5 o'clock. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm too tired now, man.
Man.
But so you have obviously have some football experience. You have a Super Bowl ring, right?
Yes.
With the Los Angeles Rams. So what is it
Yes.
like getting a Super Bowl ring?
Man, that was a wild time in general. You know, the whole draft process in general. I have to go back to that. In 2021, just a wild experience. I'll say there's nothing like it. Talking about something kind of being out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really humbling. But somehow I signed with the Cowboys coming out in 2021. Dislocated my elbow. Was on my way to making that team, but dislocated my elbow. Ended up signing with the Washington football team at the time. They're now the Commanders.
Yep.
And then from there, mid-season, I got signed to the Rams. And it was wild. As soon as I got there, I think they were kind of on a slump. It was right before their game against the Packers. And as soon as I got there, it's like they started winning.
Yeah.
And they're really superstitious, I think. I think that's
Yeah.
a big reason they kept me around too. So it was me and a couple other guys that came in at the same time, and we just started rolling. But being a part of something like that is really, really insane. You know, that's football heaven, literally. I remember when I was 5 years old, watching the Super Bowl, and I told my pops, I'm like, hey, one day I'm gonna be here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. Fast forwarding, like, dang, I really said that back then, and it actually happened. You know, the odds of that happening are wild. So
The amount of people to ever say I'm going to win a Super Bowl and actually follow through and win the Super Bowl, the percentages are low.
yeah, no, for
Percentages are
sure.
low. I'm sure I said it at one point too.
Yeah.
I never won a Super Bowl.
No, for sure.
To
But
follow through and actually do it, that's got to be amazing. So what do you do with your ring? Do you have it locked away? Do you have it ready for showing off?
I have it in a safe, but you know, at certain times I'll go pick it up and kind of flaunt it a little bit, because
Yeah.
that is something, I think that's something that needs to be shown off, at least at times.
But people are so different. Like some people just have it like ready to go at their house, like they could take it out, put it on. And then there's other people. Like I have a friend who coaches college, and he has a couple of rings, and those are locked away.
Yeah.
Like you need like mega access just to get to them.
It's wild. I mean, I remember signing my insurance on that. It's a crazy deal. Anytime you have a piece of jewelry worth just materials, $100,000, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So when you get that, do you have to get your own insurance on it, or do they give you an
Oh,
insurance plan?
They gave us all a plan, which was
Okay.
really convenient.
Always
which is-
wondered that.
Yeah, which is dope. But yeah, I kind of, when I first put it on, I had it sized for my middle finger, just for the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But as soon as I first put it on, it's funny because you think of like rappers and you think of chains, and like it's a pretty obnoxious, piece of jewelry.
Yeah, it's huge.
So it's kind of like a rapper ring, but on steroids. So
yeah.
it's like I'll flex it every now and then. I can't lie.
Speaking of jewelry and rapping, you don't really have that much jewelry. You don't have chains on or anything
Yeah,
like that. Are you a big chain guy?
Well,
You gotta. Well, your hands are below the table. First of all, for everybody
yeah.
listening, his hands are below the table. I did not see
No, for sure. But
the wrist he has on his wrist, but you don't have any chains or anything like that. You're not a big chains guy, or just not in situations.
I'm kind of certain situations. I'm more of a modest guy. I'm really big on like accessories, so I don't
Mhm.
necessarily want a super loud chain to maybe take away from outfit if I'm out or something.
Yeah.
Or like say I'm walking the walk up photos, right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I kind of want to keep it light.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I got
everyone's different. Everyone's different.
To be honest, if I was able to flaunt chains, I would in certain situations. Anytime I'm on air like this, I would definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I wear this one when I'm on air, when
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff like that. This one's nothing crazy. It's tiny. You probably can't even see it on the camera, but like,
mine's a little small. I mean, I got a chain. It's just
oh yeah, you got a chain on there, just underneath your shirt
yeah,
right now,
it's
a little smaller.
little
But
choker.
some people are like heavy out, and I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
even some of the guys in the
With-
walk-up photos are heavy out,
with
and they
the
pop.
pendants and
Yeah,
I'm aware.
yeah,
Just
it's
not-
crazy.
Just kind of not my style, and it's funny considering I'm a rapper, right? But I think that's one of the things that
The people you're talking about that you like, though, it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you talk like Kendrick Lamar and stuff
Yeah,
like he
for
doesn't.
sure.
He doesn't do any of that stuff. He
more
doesn't need to show off that stuff.
humble. Shoot, he did buy that $3 million crown.
Yeah.
Crown of thorns. I mean, that's pretty wild. But
Yeah,
he doesn't
he
just
doesn't wear
it
it. It
around.
was literally for like a photo shoot.
Yep,
he
yep,
probably
so-
just sits in a closet now.
But yeah, it's kind of how I've been. I was raised to be kind of a little bit more humble, kind of going under the radar. That's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. And that's why I love kind of where music is headed. A lot of people think music is dying in a lot of ways, specifically hip hop.
Yeah.
I love where it's heading. It's becoming a place where you don't have to be, you know, a drug dealer to blow up as a rapper, right? Like you can
Yeah.
be kind of a regular. You're seeing regular people blow up with, I mean, just because they make dope music,
Yeah.
and from all different backgrounds. So I think it's really cool that you don't have to necessarily be the most flashy person to make good music.
Yeah.
It doesn't correlate.
I
So,
think now there's so many more avenues that you can go
yes,
to, right? Like back, a lot of those guys that were like the drug dealers and stuff like that, or in gangs, a lot of gang members were becoming big, especially in that like, let's say like mid 90s to mid 2000s range, right? Like you have the Nas, the Game, guys like
yep,
that were big in gang affiliations, stuff like that. But I feel like when you were in those affiliations, you already had people to really help you push the
yep,
word,
no, for
which
sure,
you don't have to do that anymore. You have the
yep,
internet, you have all these different messaging boards,
for sure,
emails, whatever, social media, which is huge. So you don't really need that anymore. But I think that's why in that time frame you saw a lot more of that. And that's why I think that like hip hop was so ingrained in gang culture and drug
no, for
culture and stuff
sure,
like that, because that's where it was pushing out of, because that's where it wasn't mainstream either, right? So
yep,
that's where a lot of people were doing it. And that's how it was really getting pushed out. It was easier to push stuff out like that. So
yeah, no,
that's what I feel at
no,
least.
no, for sure, and obviously that's still a big part of the culture. And I just kind of want to have my lane kind of somewhere off to the side, not necessarily that, but just my own little lane in hip hop, because I want to consider myself a hip hop artist, but I think all artists can relate to this. I might record a alternative song,
Yeah.
Tame Impala-esque, and then I might turn around and record a metal song, a screamo, like whatever you genre you can imagine, I've probably made a song or multiple songs in that genre. So
So what would you, for someone that's never heard your music, what would you kind of describe it? You don't have to say a genre. Like what would you describe it as? What is the mood of your music?
that's the thing. I wouldn't be able to describe it with one mood because it literally depends on how I am feeling at the time. When I sit down and I open up my Logic Pro, my laptop, get my mic ready, I don't know what I'm gonna make. I go on YouTube. Most of my beats I find off YouTube, and I purchase licenses for them. Some of
Yeah.
them I own exclusively, but I might hear a Kanye West experimental Tame Impala type beat and get on that, and then I might hear a Boss Man D-Lo
Yeah.
track, and I might just start rapping. So
Yeah.
it varies, man.
You
It
got
varies.
all kinds of sounds.
All
Like I
different
said,
types
you're
of
doing
vibes.
screamo and you're doing all this stuff. And
No, seriously, I actually have a song I was going to put out. Well, I probably still will, but it's like a rock song. It's like rock rap, but it's
mhm.
so different. Um, I'm at that point right now where I'm still trying to find, or like not find, but kind of push out the identity for myself as an artist. And
Mhm.
I feel like early on it's hard to be all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, Kendrick Lamar didn't just start off by dropping "To Pimp a Butterfly," right? He kind of had to work his way there. So it's a
I'm surprised you started with Pimp Butterfly, not Good Kid, Mad City.
that's what I meant. Well, Good Kid, Mad City, I feel like it had the bangers. It,
Yeah.
it it had that mainstream appeal.
Perfect album.
With the "To Pimp a Butterfly" it was a little bit more off the wall jazz, like free poetry.
It was more experimental for what he was doing at the
Yeah,
time.
super
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt that he had been kind of recording stuff like that the whole time.
Yeah. And then now he finally was able to put it all together and push it out in a way.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, for
I
sure.
think the person that did the best, and this was one of the saddest celebrity deaths I've ever had. The person that was able to kind of change their style the best was Mac Miller.
Wow. Yes.
Mac
No, for
Miller
sure.
went from like backpack kid rap to like just this totally experimental stuff to like using all different sorts of instruments, but never really fell off. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people try that and they fall completely off. I mean, look
Yeah.
at Chance the Rapper was a big one like that,
No,
right?
for
Like,
sure.
but that was one of the saddest celebrity deaths I think I've ever had in my entire
No,
life. I
absolutely.
feel like I lost a friend.
Yeah, Mac Miller's music, I mean, like you said, started off with the rap, but the last Posthumous album, he made that
Yeah.
and just never released it. but it's an experience. Like
Yeah,
that,
it is.
like
Every
that's
album, every one of his latest albums is literally an
it's
experience.
an
It's
emotional
not just an album.
like that makes you feel stuff, and I think that's the main quality to music is to be able to make the listener feel
Yeah.
the moment.
And that's why, like, so my big opinion is that I think Stax and Big Boy are closer than people like to put them. I really do.
Oh,
Everyone
wow.
has Stax way above Big Boy. I don't think there is a Andre 3000 without Big Boy because I don't think his music pushes through in the same way. I think you needed that traditional rap, a part of Outkast to even make it because he
Yeah.
was so out there with what he did. I mean,
No.
this man wore catcher's equipment to the Grammys.
No,
Like,
for sure.
He was so out
For
there with what he
sure.
did. But the reason I say that is because Big Boy as a rapper is like elite. I truly
No,
think
for
he's
sure.
elite. So I think Stax is ahead of him, but I don't think, like, people like to think the gap is miles apart. I don't think the gap is miles apart.
See, I have to disagree.
Please
okay,
do. I want to hear your side
See,
of it.
3 Stacks, in my opinion, is probably the greatest rapper ever.
Oh, that hit a chord then when I just said that. I hit a chord.
Just from a lyrical standpoint, painting a picture. You know, when I think of a verse, I think of even something more recent, like "Life of the Party" is verse on that
Mhm.
with Kanye.
Yeah.
How the imagery and just the way with words. It's funny. Me and my homeboys, Kelvin Harmon, Benjamin St. Just, we're Kelvin was with the Defenders last year. He played receivers with the Cowboys now.
Yep.
But we have a little a group where we do verses, and we did a Tribe Called Quest versus Outkast.
Okay.
And
That's a solid one.
believe it or not, a Tribe Called Quest ended up winning, but it wasn't like a Q-Tip versus Andre.
Stax, yeah.
It ended up being Phife Dawg being better in our opinion
than Big Boy.
than Big Boy.
That's a good one because I am a huge Phife fan. Like,
yeah,
I am
two different eras,
very
right?
very different and very different styles.
Yes,
very different
but
styles.
When you listen, we break it down like in depth. So we break it down. We'll listen to just the lyrics. We'll turn the beat off. We'll find the instrumental. Just listen to just the flow and delivery. Then we'll listen to just the instrumentals to really see, okay, who's really bringing this song to life, right?
Yeah.
So but just to that point, yeah. Back to the original point. Andre 3000 is probably my GOAT in my opinion.
And you're talking about how you like to do all these other styles, so you definitely style yourself after Stax then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I definitely say I at least strive to paint the pictures that he paints, with words. No, for sure.
Does it even slightly disappoint you that he never released well, I guess he did technically release a solo album now with the flutes.
flute.
With the flutes, but he never actually did. And then he said that he didn't do it because he was like, it was so long. He didn't do it for so long. He got nervous that if he did it and it was bad, that it would kind of ruin his entire reputation.
And that's kind of, I think that's a skate. He used that as
a cop out.
Yeah, that's a cop out for sure.
Yeah,
that's a cop out because I mean the song I mentioned, "Life of the Party" with his verse, he went on like a 1:30 verse.
Every verse
That's
he's
recent.
done. Yeah, every verse he's done has been.
I mean, you
unreal.
can even look at the stuff with Frank Ocean, like
Yeah.
Pink Matter. Like, just as an artist, he is insane. And did you listen to the Flute album? It's actually it's different.
It's different, but it's not
different,
bad.
but
Yeah, it's pretty good.
ridiculously
Yeah.
tough. I just think he is.
It was just the fact that he put out a
inclined.
solo album and it was all
And it just
flutes.
was
and
that.
and it was like, we've been waiting for years.
At Met Gala, didn't he wear the piano? Isn't he doing some piano stuff now?
Wouldn't doubt it.
Well, he pulled up the Met Gala wearing a piano, and I think he's preparing to release a piano album.
Piano album.
So,
he's an artist.
But to your point, I mean, yes, I am very disappointed, right? As a fan, but as an artist, it's like I also respect that too, because he's just in his own lane. Like, this is what he wants to do, and he's just doing it. I think a lot of people get lost. A lot of artists get lost in, chasing what the fans think is the perfect. Oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. I think there's beauty in just being the artist. Like, if you're a fan of my music, I think you might not like it first listen, but And it might be very different from the other stuff, but as you listen, I think you'll understand.
That's like the same thing with social media, that I tell people that, like, they're just like, I want to get big on social media. It's like, that's not the way to do it. You
Yep.
should be passionate about something and then you'll get big on social
Yes.
media. Like, that's kind of how it works. People that are just like, I'm going to be social media famous usually don't get social media
Exactly.
famous. It's also very scary how many interns, 20-year-old interns I've had in my life that's their main goal is to just get big on social media.
Yeah.
It's scary because
No, for
they don't
sure.
realize how small a percentage of people will actually get to a point that they can live off it.
No, for sure.
You don't make that much money doing social media. You don't make that much money doing social media.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Man.
Know that now. Like, go be a manager before actually trying to get famous on it because it just doesn't work. But you were saying you're trying to build your social media a little more. How are you trying to build yours up, like, to get to a point where you're promoting yourself as a musician?
Right now it's just a matter of, consistent content. And with season, playing the football season right now, smack dab in the middle of the season, it's pretty tough, with the schedule to consistently pump out different content. But I'm still making music constantly. That's the crazy part. I just think it's a part of my routine, right? It's like sleep to me.
That's what you want to
low-key.
do. Like,
Yeah.
the content will come when you can do it, but the music is something you actually want to do.
Yeah, so I'm constantly making music, but it's a matter of just really making that decision. And I started the year off strong, with some pieces of content, putting those out, and they performed pretty well, compared to the other stuff I've been doing. But I think once I commit to being consistent, I think I'll start to, retain fans a little better because I'll have one song that people really like, and then it'll be too far in between, content. They'll forget about it. Then I'll hear another song, and I think in a lot of ways, like I released an R&B song, and then my next song was like a rap song, and I think in a lot of ways a listener could be like, see that and the lack of like a timeline, right, and just skipping to that, and they're like, what is this guy thinking, right? But and that's really the part I'm at right now is just kind of creating a timeline of I want the fans and people on social media to be able to see me, through my process and kind of as I grow as an artist. So,
That's where you should grow yourself. Not to tell you what to do. Where you should grow yourself is take your personal social media, and this is what I tell people that are trying to grow social media. You don't have to start all at once. They say do 9 straight days to start, which is a good starting point. I tell people do every other day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is your scheduling day, or whatever. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday is your scheduling. Whatever you can do consistently. And what you should be doing is taking your football, take some clips from that, and mix it in with the music. And then people will find you for football and go to your music, or find your music, see your football, combine it together, and that's where you're going to get the following from. That's where you need to kind of figure out what you want to do with that one. But I truly think, yes, doing it consistently 9 straight days, that whole thing, yes, that's a good idea. I've started all of my social medias by going every other day, going Monday, Thursday, Sunday, whatever, 3 times a week. The biggest thing is have one I call it the big lift and then small lifts. So for me, for example, for my social media, I do those 2 days following a team, which perform very well. In between, I might have like, here's the shot POV and here's the shot in real life. Or here's me hitting off a tee. Or it's something that's a very light lift that takes me 15 minutes to do on my phone. But the other thing might take me all week to edit. It might take me 2 days to edit. It might take me a little longer. Those are the ones you're really going to try to push yourself in. And then the other ones, you're going to catch some people along the way. Like someone's going to come across someone's algorithm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Click on the profile. Oh, look at this is pretty sick. And then build from there. And so that's what I do, the small pieces. That could be, say you post 5 times a week, 4 of them could be small ones, and then one's your heavy lift.
Okay.
Maybe that's a Wednesday, right? Like your Wednesday one is a piece of your music video. That's your Wednesday heavy lift. That's where you're going to really push out. That's where you want people to share it. That's where you want people to comment. That's the one you're really going to focus on. And all the other ones you kind of just post and put it in the air and see what happens. Maybe it gets 200 views. Maybe it gets 200,000 views. You never know because the algorithm can go so many different ways.
Either way, for sure.
That's just my advice to you if you're trying to build that up. How about that?
No, for sure. That's really valuable to me, especially, and it makes me feel good too because I literally, yesterday I made a video of the scoop 6, the scoop and score I had, and I put my song on there,
Yeah.
and it was one of it on TikTok. I just posted on TikTok. I will eventually. I'm gonna post it on Reels probably today.
Yeah.
But it did pretty well.
Yeah.
So like it's funny that you brought that up. I think that's kind of where I'm transitioning is to kind of combining the football. You know, when I do put my highlight video out for the year, it's probably gonna
Have your
have
music.
my song on there,
Yeah.
right? It's free market, like it's free, like double up marketing.
Yeah,
kinda.
exactly. It
So-
is free marketing, and you just put your song on there, and you can even put in your like description, like you don't have to say this is me, but you could put the name of the song with your artist name on there, right? Like, and then people are gonna look that up, and then they'll make the connection, like, oh, that's him. Like, you know, people might not even realize it. And even if they don't make the connection, it's okay because they're still going and becoming listeners and becoming fans. So like overall, it works out the whole way. But I think combining, and we talked about this. I don't remember if we did this on or off air. Doesn't matter. We're gonna say it again. Former athlete to current athlete. Very different ways in social media. It's very hard to really build yourself as a former athlete. It's much easier as you're a current athlete. Also, as a current athlete, there's content being made of you the entire time. And please let me know where we can help. I can send you whatever you want. I can send you literally whatever you want. Trust me, people request it all the time. I can send you whatever you want to help you build it up and everything. But that's a good idea. Put your music on top of it. Have it somewhere, whether it's on the video itself, in the description, or people then go look for it. See,
well,
this
shoot,
man knows what he's
I'm
doing.
definitely gonna take you up on the offer for about
I
certain
know now
videos.
he ain't gonna stop texting me now.
Yeah, he just
Every day,
he just
every
opened up the
day,
door.
every day.
I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of there's some videos I'm gonna definitely need.
No, 100%. I mean, we have them. Like I try to get you guys as much access as I can, but there's only so much. But yeah, anything, I tell people that all the time. I tell the players that all the time. If you're looking for something specific, just let me know. I could definitely send it to you. I don't mind sending it to you.
For sure.
Yeah, look at that on air. We just made a deal there. He got all the videos he needs. So what are some of the next steps of music? Do you have a full album out yet, or is it just singles?
I
just
have singles out. I
Yeah.
released one EP though. It's called Bill Can Rap. The Feeling This song is on there. Keep It Pushing. It's more of it's like I'd say Atlanta/Detroit type production.
Okay.
Right, and it's just
I've seen the singles. I don't know if I've seen the full album yet.
punch rapping. It's just me punching in, just rapping. So that's out. But talk about unreleased. I probably have like 3 alternative unreleased albums. I have a rock album unreleased. I have kind of like a trap. I don't even know. Like, you listen to any Yeet? It's kind of like experimental.
I may
rap
have. That sounds
type
familiar. It's something my
trap.
friend Kyle probably tried to put me on at some point.
That's
you
kinda-
guys would get along so good, man. He's
No,
a big music guy.
I bet. So I have a bunch of different projects, different genres. So I probably made at least 1,000 songs. I'd say at least.
So what keeps them unreleased for you?
Man, it's crazy. It's I'm super particular about what I put out. Even my last song, what finally like allowed me to like put it out. I'll play it in front of like some of the guys, some of my teammates, some of my boys, and they'll be like, "Bro, you gotta put this out." Like hey, send this to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna send it to you. I'm gonna release it, and then you can listen to it that way."
Yeah.
Nah, I send it to them. I'm joking, but it's just so a lot of the time it's other people pushing me to do it, but yeah, I'm just kind of picky. I need to stop being so picky. You know, I think that's part of being an artist, right? We're humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the good, the bad. I think there's a line in Trey the Truth and Ibiza. Trey the Truth and Ibiza by J. Cole, where it's something along the lines of him saying like, "Let him hear all of it, the good, the bad, because I'm the one that thought of it." Like, it's a bar similar to that, and it's like, I think I just need to just put more music out in general.
Yeah,
just
I think saturate the market and see what goes out there and stuff like that.
For
But
sure.
You're also going to be your biggest critic, which I think
Yes.
is really where that comes from. Is like you may look at something and be like, "Man, this can't be released." And everyone's like, "What are you talking about? This is fire. You got to release it."
Yep.
But you're sitting there like, "No, it can't be released." I don't know how a lot of people are that you might meet or something. Whenever I meet somebody that does music and they send it to me, I sit on it for like 2 weeks because I will send you back a book. I have a bunch of friends that do music and I send them back books like, "This is what I think was good.
this could probably be changed. Like, you know, because I feel
Okay.
like when you send it to people, that's what you want from it. I don't know how many people you have that
See,
just
I
like,
need to start sending you music.
yeah,
Okay.
because
Bet.
this is what I noticed when people, I used to just be like, yo, this is really good. Like, you know, the same thing most people do. But then I was talking with a friend in Connecticut who does music, and he was like, I was like, yeah, that's really good. He's like, no. Like, I want to know what you think of it. Like, I don't send it to you because I just want you to hear it. Like, I actually want feedback on it. And it clicked for me. I was like, oh yeah, why would someone just send you it? Like, this is my music. It's not released. Like, they want your feedback on it. So now I try to like give you whatever I think of it and stuff. And I'm not a musician at all. I did play instruments growing up. I'm not a musician at all, but I will give you whatever I think of it coming back.
Okay.
Even if you hate my opinion.
Well, that's the thing, and it's so funny. I think a lot of artists, kind of get offended,
Yeah.
when anyone can speak. Oh, not anyone can speak on music, but I think that's quite literally I think anyone can speak on music, right? It's all about how it sounds to you and how it
Yeah.
makes you feel as a listener, So
Especially because that's who you're trying to reach is the person listening.
And-
You need to get every opinion on it.
and it's crazy because like the two people can come in here and listen to the same song, and one person will think it is absolutely trash, and the
Yeah.
other person will think it's fire. And hey, let me get that so I can add to the playlist. So it's important to, I think that's why I like, your friend that makes music. I agree with him. Whenever I send my music, I like to get feedback
Yeah.
and detailed feedback, like emotions or parts that kind of threw you off a little bit, like all that.
Yeah.
So I think, but I think that's just part of me too. I like getting better. I constantly like growing, whether it be on the field, whether it be, in the studio with the music. I'm always looking to get better.
I
So
love constructive criticism.
Yep.
Love constructive criticism. And I'm like, you might tell me something. I might hate it in the moment because you're telling me something I did. It feels like you're saying something's wrong, but you're not. You're like, I saw this or I heard this or whatever, and like I think this could just be done this way instead of this way. Like, why is it done this way?
mhm.
And a lot of people get mad at constructive criticism because of that. They're like, oh, they're telling me I did something wrong. It's no one's telling you did anything wrong. You don't have to take the criticism if you don't
Yep.
want. But this is my opinion of what it is, and this is how I think it could improve. Take it as you will. When I have interns with my company, like my personal company, I literally tell them, like, I'm going to seem like a harsh person when you give me something, but I'm going to give you direct constructive criticism. It's going to be like to the point. I don't want to beat around the bush. What I learned with interns is if you feed around the bush, if you're like, this is good, but it probably could be done this way, they're going to be like, oh, he said it was good. Like,
Yeah,
why am I going to
yeah,
change it?
for sure.
If I go, this needs to be done this way, or this could be done this way, this should be done this way,
It's received.
it's received immediately and it really hits home. So that's how I try to do with all of it. You
No,
send me
for sure.
something, I'm going to sit on it. Dude, Mick sent me a song like last week and I'm still sitting on it because I'm just listening. I'm listening
Okay.
through, like,
Yeah,
it's just still going
I think
through
he
it.
sent me that same song.
He sent you the song too? Yeah, I'm
I
sitting
think
there
so.
listening to him. Like, I'm going to get back to you. He probably thought I forgot. I didn't forget. I'm still listening to him. I'm listening to all the cadences. I'm listening to the beat. I'm listening to how he does everything because I
Yep.
want to see, I want to give him my full opinion. He's going to get a book back.
Yep,
He's
and-
going to get a
and
full
it's
book.
Funny. It's funny that you wait. I think it's smart too because I can't tell you how many times this happens to people, but it's happened to me. Like I'll hear a song and I'll be like, man, I really don't like this, or maybe I love this song,
Yeah.
and then as you constantly play it, that song that you didn't like, you might end up loving, and the
grows
song
on
that
you.
you liked might be like kind of cool on this song,
Yeah.
So I think the time really kind of tells more than even maybe the first listen.
Yeah, a first listen, it's great to give an opinion of, but like I do demo reels when I'm in video and I send it out to people. And when I first started doing that, I would send it to all my friends in the industry, not just everybody, but all my friends in the industry to see what I got back. And then when I got stuff back, like if they were like, oh, it looks great, I would never send them it again. Cause it's like, they're not even probably watching it. But I have one friend, my friend Dave, who's like, he's the guy I send everything to because I sent him my demo reel. No, I sent him a podcast because I needed some opinions on it. And man, when I tell you I got a book, it was a text that like took 14 swipes to go through. But he gave me everything. And he's in the media. So like he's a good opinion to have. But it's not just like, oh, this is great. He's like, hey, it looks great. Did a great job. But here's some notes. Boom. By second in the video. Like he literally put the second
the
dials on the
timestamps, yeah.
timestamps on everything. saying this should be done this way. Oh, well, when I'm doing a news hit, this is how we kind of do it to try to make it pop more. Maybe you could try to change it to make it pop more. You should probably push in here a little bit. You should probably push out here a little bit, like all that stuff. So I send him everything now because that's the kind of person I want in my corner. And that's the kind of person I try to be in everyone else's corner because that's what people want.
No, for
you want to
sure.
grow, you want to get better. You're not sending it because you're like, dude, listen to my song. Aren't I so good? Like no one's doing that.
Yeah,
no one's doing that.
So yeah, but to your point, I'm gonna start sending you music.
Send me music, man. I love music.
Nick sent his song. I'm gonna definitely start sending you some songs.
You should. I'm a huge music buff. Like I love hip hop, New York hip hop from New York. So I'm a big New York hip hop guy. That's when you were saying,
rap.
You were saying Tribe, Outkast. I love Outkast. Don't get me wrong, but like I love a Tribe Called Quest. Like that is my style of rap. They always say '90s old head stuff. Whatever. I love that style of rap because it's lyrical, it's storytelling,
and they were conscious too.
Yes,
that's the difference.
Yes,
they
very conscious of what's going into it, the styles, the flows. Like I love Eminem a lot, classic Eminem. Like he has the Without Me's and stuff like that are fun banger songs. But then like if you really listen to the deep cuts, they're just like not only the lyrics but the flows of the song are just insane.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And Nas was the same way to me. Like Nas is probably one of the best storyteller rappers like ever. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No,
but,
for sure. I agree.
Like his storytelling is just so freaking good. Same with AZ. AZ was a great storyteller as well. That's why it's great that they were connected, right?
Yeah,
They were both great storytellers. But that's like my favorite type of rap. And then I became a big in the backpack rap. That like 2008 to what was that 2014.
Yep.
That early Beano, early Mac Miller, early Kanye was kind of backpackish, like those kind of guys that it was literally you had a beat and you just kind of rap straight through. There wasn't even a hook. You just rap straight through all the way. Kid Cudi's another one like that.
Kid Cudi.
I liked it because I like lyrics.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge lyric guy.
Okay,
I love lyrics.
It's funny because that's exactly how I am too. I mentioned I started off writing, so like I can hear even maybe a sonically bad song and then hear some of the writing and be like, wow, like this is a well-written song.
It's too bad it's on this beat.
or whatever it may be, or it's like, shoot, you might have a talent as, a writer for someone. And that's one thing I've actually done before. I'll hear a beat and can hear an artist on it, and I'll write from their perspective.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like that. Like Sci-Hi the Prince never made it as a rapper, but if you go look at his catalog on the stuff he wrote, it's crazy.
Ridiculous. And talk about a guy who could rap too.
Yeah, he can. But he never had that appeal to people as a rapper. He really didn't.
Yep.
He is a great rapper, obviously, because not only has he done it in his own right, but the songs he's written, it's like a laundry list of hit songs.
See, I have to look into that. I don't know the hit songs.
Oh, go look at the hit songs. He has a ton of hit songs. But
it's crazy. I think that's a cool skill that I have too. Like I'll write a song and it'll be for a specific artist. And just to check and make sure I'm not tripping, I'll put the little AI on there to, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fire. But I need to start sending this. I need to start sending this.
You ever
stuff
try to send it to the artists that you have them for?
I need to, but because I'll just record the demo, then AI, and then just show them. I think there's some artists right now that are actually doing that. That are receiving songs from artists and just
most of them do. That's the thing people don't get. Everyone talks about, oh, Drake has a ghostwriter. Everyone has one. Everyone has a ghostwriter.
Sure.
It's there are certain people that probably don't. Like, I think Eminem does now, but Eminem definitely didn't when he was younger. Kendrick Lamar probably doesn't either. Like, these guys are pure rappers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really small percentage of the rappers that don't have a ghostwriter. They all have ghostwriters. Like, it's crazy. No, it's absolutely crazy.
And it just brings. It's really crazy how you can have one skill and just not make it right. A lot of artists, I think, it's the team that actually propels their success.
Yeah.
Like think of if like a Travis never met Mike Dean. Like it's just because I can't tell you how many people, like I'll be scrolling on my IG, how many people can just sing the ceiling off the building, right?
Yeah, or
sing
lyrical
like
as all hell or something like that.
Singing a cover, but it's like, dang, what if they actually had like a creative director to kind of cater to their voice and a lyricist? Like they might be the next Adele. Who knows? Like it's just
to compare it to football, all things have to hit. Like, it's not, you don't just practice and then go to college and go to the NFL. Like, everything has to align perfectly. You were just saying you were on a team and then you were about to make it and you got hurt.
Yep.
Like, everything has to align perfectly for you to really make it. And that's why there's not so many people that do, because everything aligned perfectly for them to make it
Yep.
into the spot they're in. And then something lined up for them, whether it was they were at a show and somebody saw them perform, or someone found them on the internet or something. Like, something happens there.
No, for sure.
And for every one person like that, there's millions of people that have not had that happen.
Where
That
the
did
stars
not.
never aligned.
They
or
never
haven't
aligned for them.
yet.
Yes.
So it's just.
And they're still going through, but it's just the hustle and the grind. And if you have a passion for it, then you keep going. Do you ever perform live?
That's one of my next big steps. See, I've been able to. I used to get really nervous. I would play my music in the locker room, and it would like people would like it, right? But I would be just super nervous. But now, like I do that, and I'll be rapping. I'll stand up and I'll be rapping, and they'll make me replay all the different songs, and
Yeah.
I more or less have mini concerts in the locker room right before practice. So it's like I'm at that point now to where I think that's kind of the next step. I think it's about time I have my humiliation ritual of rapping in front of 10 people that I know.
Yeah.
I think it's about time. Probably right here after this season. God willing, I get opportunity in the NFL again. Probably between that, I'll probably
Get out there and
just say, hey, let me go ahead and get my first performance out the way.
I'm sure it's going to be the most nerve-wracking thing you do. For someone that has a Super Bowl ring, it's probably gonna be the most nerve-wracking thing you do.
No, absolutely. Just to be one person, because everybody talks about all the fans in the stadium. When you're playing football. I went to Texas A&M, 110,000 people in the stands. You make a play with your helmet on. That's a little different than you on a stage.
You can see the people.
You're
You're
the only person that everyone else is paying attention to.
Yeah.
And you're quite literally performing. So it's a lot of my friends, I've started kind of linking with artists and trying to network with different artists, and some of my friends make music too, and they're doing it, and it's cool to see that, but it's also I talk to them and they're like, bro, it's so cringe, being out there, but
Yeah.
as you keep going, and that's why it's so important, I think, starting out to have people that know the songs be right there. So like,
Yeah, so you can look at
they're
them and they're
kinda
rapping the
sorta
lyrics too.
performing it
Yeah.
with you.
Yep.
So it kind of lightens the blow because it's a culture shock.
That's
For
what
sure.
the first guest we ever had, his name was Kid Quill, rapper from Indiana. And that's what he said. He's like, when I was first coming up, I had to have people there because, like, you got to have them. You got to hear people saying your music with you, and it can't just be a bunch of blank faces looking at you, or you're going to get stage fright or something like that.
No,
Do you
for
consider
sure.
yourself an outgoing person or a shy person?
See, there's a lot of duality with me, bro. It's like I actually am pretty outgoing, but I want to say I'm reserved, and I think a lot of people see me as reserved.
Mhm.
But I want to say have another side, but that's kind of where my music comes in too. I want to say it's an alter ego per se,
Mhm.
but I kind of view it kind of like, especially with some of the raps I do, high energetic rap and kind of brash rap I do. I want to say that's the same person that is celebrating after the touchdown on the scoop and score.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not me walking on the street, but it's still me.
It's your way of expression. That's your
Yes.
way of expression.
So it's like, yeah, I'd say I'm a introverted extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I notice a lot of people that do music seem to have that same artists. I could just say artists as a whole seem to have that like introverted, and that's how they get extroverted is through your music, through your performance, through whether your performance is on a stage or on the field. Like
No, for
that's where
sure.
you really see the personality come out and stuff like that. I'm the complete opposite of that. My personality is always on my sleeve.
Just naturally outgoing, man.
I just say I'm constantly an idiot.
Man, that's a skill though. Just to be outgoing like that and be able to do that. I mean, shoot, that's a skill.
I was an incredibly shy person as a kid because I was super overweight and I had pimples everywhere, and I was a little more outgoing than most. I also played sports growing up, so I was a little more outgoing than most, but I was incredibly shy. And then I went to college, and I just was like, I'm just gonna go for things. I'm just
Get
gonna
it,
do
yeah.
it.
Just-
Like no one knows me here. I could just go for things. And I kind of let myself break through, and it's just been that ever since. And I'm just incredibly outgoing
Yeah,
now.
but that's cool. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing.
No, like I said, I'm just a walking idiot. I just
Yeah.
talk and I say things out loud, and I don't. It's funny because I tell people like, yeah, I work with athletes a lot and stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I just say things. They either look at me like, what the hell are you talking about, or I don't know. I just talk. I just talk
Yep.
whatever comes to my head, and then brain fart
And
right
it's
out.
over, and it's over. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's over, and that's it. But I am thankful I'm outgoing because it does help me in a lot of situations. It helps me in stuff like this. Like
Yep. For
when
sure.
I go and work with professional athletes, no matter the stature, like I don't get stage fright. I have a whole clip about I've gotten stage fright one time in my life, ran into the radio broadcaster for the Yankees when I was working for the Red Sox. And the reason I got stage fright is I've been listening to him since I was a kid, right? Like playoff games, John Sterling. I listened to him all the time. And I did get stage fright at that point. I've met crazy people. Never got nervous. And I talked the same I talked to you, the same I talked to the other players on the team, Mick, Jordan, whoever, is the same way I talked to like Waka Flocka when I met him, or like Aaron Judge when I met him. I still to this day, like it was an amazing experience to meet Aaron Judge. He probably thinks I'm a moron because the way I talk, like I just kind of brain fart things out. But it has helped me a lot because it helps me connect with you guys.
Yep.
Like I truly think, and you'd be a better judge of this than me, in my experience, I truly think when you're working with athletes, the one thing they don't want to talk about is the sport, is football.
Yeah,
So like I do think me being able to talk about literally whatever, like just bring up a topic, I will figure out how to talk about it, has helped me a lot in my experience when I've worked with athletes.
And I think it's something honest about it too, just you being able to just speak your mind like that and about any topic, it's like genuine.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
And then people either be attracted to it or they'll repel from it. And whatever it is, it is.
It's,
like
either way, it's okay.
Yeah, either way, it's okay. I don't really care. You don't like me, that's fine. Like it is. That's my New York. You don't like me?
Yeah,
whatever. I
New
don't
York.
care.
Yeah.
If you like me, that's cool. We could be chill. Like I'm a chill dude. Sometimes aggressive. It's all good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Where can people find some of your music?
You can go to my IG bio. I have a link tree in there that
What's the IG?
it is at ANTHINES Ant Hines III. And just click on the link in my bio and it'll take you to all streaming services. But either way, you can look up no spaces. Bill is Dead on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, either whatever platform you listen to music on, you can find me there.
Is there anything? What's the newest song that you have out that you wanna promote?
My newest song is titled Yah, YAH, with a period after, and it's a kind of a turn up vibe.
It is. I shared it on Instagram, and that's when I followed the Bill is Dead Instagram because you collabed yourself with it,
with that post,
and that's how I
with
saw
that
it. And then I went and I did it from there. So
Okay,
I've
that's
had
dope.
follow both. Follow him.
Yes.
Follow Bill is Dead. And then whenever he decides what route, if he's just gonna go with his own, then you can stay with that one. But you'll be an OG. I'll go back and see you were the one that followed Bill is Dead before he even started to blow up the social media at all. So that's the one you want to go follow, man.
Be the OG.
You'll be an OG. Be an OG. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you, Chris.
Thank you, Anthony, for joining. Thank you, Hannah, for producing. Thank you all for being here. Remember, you can get a free trial of Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/MadPropsPod. You can also get your pet cleaning services at Neakasa.com. Use code MadPropsPod for a special little discount there. Also, you can visit schnabelstudios.com and see all the good stuff Schnabel Studios is doing. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at MadPropsPod. Follow me at Chris Schnabel or at Chris.Schnabel on TikTok. Make sure you go follow Hannah. It's Hannah Robertson without the O, so Robertson. So you can follow that on Instagram as well and on TikTok. And make sure you follow Anthony, Ant Hines, 3 I's, Ant Hines III, or Bill is Dead _ to find him there. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next time. This has been Mad Props. We're almost at episode 100. We're almost there. So stay tuned because we're almost at triple digits, which is really exciting. This podcast meant a lot to me, and I can't wait to get there. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time. This was Mad Props.